This man, I asked him to bring me to a fancy restaurant, and he brought me to Cheesecake Factory.
You want to get on Church Job with? Go ahead. Pay your side of tab. We gonna split the bills. Pay your side of tab in.
Absolutely not.
Put up with this.
I will go out of here right now and catch an Uber.
Oh, you pay your tab in.
No.
It's striking how the situation escalates only after the food has already been served, with complaints surfacing at a point where the timing feels more calculated than coincidental, especially in a setting like the Cheesecake Factory where the prices are already well known. Welcome back to another video, where today we're looking at a series of clips showing different date scenarios where expectations and intentions don't quite align, and things unfold in ways the people involved clearly didn't anticipate.
So why does man take me out on a date, right?
Oh, I love it when somebody gets a chance at love. Let's see how her date went.
And then here I am thinking, okay, I'm gonna just order the most expensive on the menu, which is what I did.
Now, why would you do that?
I got the porterhouse, macaroni, Brussels sprouts. Why the motherfucker up and leaving?
He left? Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised.
So now I gotta figure this out because I'm not paying no half bill.
So let me get this straight just to run it back. A man asked this woman out on a date. She gets on the date and she orders the most expensive items on the menu. Somewhere in the date, something went awry and he excuses himself and never comes back and leaves her stuck with the bill. And it looked like he enjoyed his meal. Ladies, these men can spot a mile away when you are trying to use them. Not to say that she couldn't afford to pay for it, but she is definitely trying to figure out how she gonna pay now that he is gone. If you are not dating with the intent of being in a relationship and making a genuine connection, leave these men alone, because you are messing up somebody's husband before they can align with.
It raised a broader point about intent in dating situations, because when interactions are driven by expectations of personal gain rather than genuine connection, it tends to create frustration on both sides and wastes everyone's time in the process. The issue isn't limited to one perspective either, since this kind of mindset can show up in different forms across the board, and ultimately, it just leads to outcomes that don't feel fair or meaningful for anyone involved.
What glad deal thought my name was free food. The bill came up to $203.65.
So, you have to come to my house later tonight?
No, fuck here, what I look like? Thanks for the meal though. I ain't coming though.
Alright, give me a second, I can be out the bathroom, man. This blood clot girl feel like say, yeah, free food. What you take man for? The fuck?
Yo, where you going? You gonna pay the bill?
The fuck? Yo, move your bumper clot, man. Don't call up my blood clot phone, man.
He clearly felt like the situation had been misrepresented, especially when the expectations seemed to shift into him, covering its expensive meal that totaled over $200. The interaction quickly turned uncomfortable as the tone between them changed, leading to an abrupt end to the date and a clear refusal to continue things afterward. In moments like this, high-cost first dates can already create pressure, and when communication and expectations aren't aligned, it often results in frustration and an experience neither person walks away from positively.
Someone sent me this video this morning. You're not gonna believe this, ladies and gentlemen. So she's upset at her Lyft driver because a guy ordered a Lyft for her. She was in the car and she started to have a conversation with the Lyft driver and tell him how she wasn't really attracted to him because he was a short king, he wasn't buff, but he was kind and sweet and nice, and that's why she was going to meet him. Now, bear in mind, he ordered the Lyft, right? So the transaction was through him and the Lyft driver. So she started talking about how she likes her men who are buff and built, and the only reason she's really going to see him is because he's been pressing to see her, and he's really sweet, but she's not into him at all, but she doesn't tell him for whatever reason, because maybe she's trying to get something from him or trying to get him to do something for her. So, as she is on her way to his house, right, and telling the Lyft driver all her business and tea about this guy, she noticed that the guy's texts start to get more dry. The guy was saying, oh, I can't wait to see you. I've been missing you. I'm excited. And it goes from that to, yeah, okay. Because she's like, I'm almost there. I'm 5 minutes away. It's like, yeah, okay. Now, where she is, it's freezing cold, okay? She gets to the guy's house, and the guy will not open up the door. And you know why? The Lyft driver messaged the guy and told him, yeah, she ain't it, bro. She don't really like you. He told her everything that she had told him on the way there to save the guy. So the guy knew, and the guy told her, like, yeah, I know everything that you said. You ain't really about me, so you can go ahead and get your own Lyft back home. And she was out there in the cold. This story warms my heart. It really does. It makes me so happy. Men are starting to wise up. I'm going to tell y'all this again. Only date women who are enthusiastic and excited about it.
What stands out in this clip is the driver's quick decision to step in and remove himself from a situation that clearly wasn't going anywhere productive, essentially cutting off unnecessary cost and tension before it escalated further. In a broader sense, it highlights how important it is to recognize when an interaction is no longer worth continuing, and to act decisively rather than getting dragged into avoidable frustration or expense.
I just get back from a Hinge date. Why am I doing this to myself? So we scheduled to go to dinner. We are sitting at the restaurant. Seems very nice, not a catfish. Things are going well. And the waitress comes over. She wants to take her order. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take the branzino. And he said, I'm gonna take the burger. And the waitress asked him, okay, how do you like your burger? He said how he likes his burger. And do you want some cheese on your burger? And he asked, is this gonna be extra? And she says, yes, it's $3 extra. And he said, okay, then never mind. Over there, and I'm like, what the actual I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat my branzino and see what happens. And he's like, oh my God, you have to pay extra for everything these days. And I'm like, yeah, it's New York City. So I got my branzino, he got his burger, we were eating. And once I was satisfied, I got up and I was like, I'm going to the restroom for a second. And I took my purse and I went to the waitress and I was like, hey, I just want to pay the bill. And I just paid the bill and walked out of the restaurant, and I texted him. So I texted him, the check is taken care of, you should have gotten the cheese. And
What stands out in this moment is how differently each person interprets the outcome of the date, with frustration centered around expectations around money and what each person is willing to contribute. When financial concerns like paying for something as small as a slice of food become the main point of contention, it shifts the focus away from genuine connection and highlights a deeper mismatch in priorities, ultimately raising questions about whether both people are approaching dating with compatible intentions in the first place.
Why would I bring you to Olive Garden?
Yeah, like what? Like, do I look like an Olive Garden type of girl?
This is our first date. This is our first date. Like, I don't even know you. Why would I spend all this money on you?
Spend all this money? Like, what are you talking about? All this money?
I got you.
Like $15 for a plate. Like,
it's not.
It's cheap.
Okay, I don't know what you're ordering.
It's cheap. Like, if you're broke, just say that. Like,
I'm not broke. Okay.
I'm not this type of girl. Like a chain restaurant. Do I look like I eat fast food?
This is not fast food.
You might as well have taken me to McDonald's. Like, what?
Okay, yeah, see, I've heard enough.
No.
Look, this day is not gonna work. It's over, okay? And I can take my flowers back.
These cheap flowers, yeah, you can take those back. They're cheap. You get them from the grocery store. You didn't even go
to the store. What's the problem with going to a grocery store?
You didn't go to a store. Like, they look cheap. Like, if you're broke, like, just say that. Like, it's okay to...
Look, you had no problem asking me for a ride. What do you mean by broke? If
I'm a passenger princess. There's no reason I need to be driving. Like,
you don't even have a car. You don't have an option.
I don't need a car. Like,
you're gonna need a car. You're gonna need a car because you're gonna get in my car and you're gonna walk home.
No, you can take me back home.
He put in clear effort by bringing flowers and choosing a well-known sit-down restaurant like Olive Garden, which sits in that middle ground of being casual but still respectable for a first date. The intent here seems straightforward, creating a comfortable setting to talk and get to know someone without overdoing it, which is essentially what a first meeting is meant to be about.
I said, I am trying to have my first child with you, and I promise you we can get married first, then we can have a child, and I'll treat you right.
Oh, okay.
So do we got a date or not?
We'll see.
That's what we're gonna see.
What makes this moment particularly uncomfortable is the dynamic in the scene, where laughter and third-party presence can easily shift the tone from a private interaction into something that feels more like a spectacle than a genuine conversation. Situations like this often contribute to broader hesitation some people feel about dating in public or approaching relationships openly, especially when personal interactions are later shared online in ways that can amplify embarrassment or misinterpretation beyond the original context.
Popular opinion, a man should be paying for every single date, and here is why. If a man cannot afford or is unwilling to buy you dinner every single time he takes you on a date, then how could you ever, as a woman, in your right mind, expect that same man to be able to provide for a child and a wife who has to stay home because she just gave birth and her body needs to physically repair? I'm sorry, but it is just so unrealistic. And there's a culture that is hating on people who want a provider, and that is so wrong, because there's nothing wrong with being a woman and expecting a man to pay for your dates. Not just because you spend a bunch of money on your hair and makeup. That's so true, and like a lot of men don't do the same. So like, yes, we invest a lot more in presenting ourselves for a date than a guy. That's totally fair. But more important than anything is the fact that if a man can't pay for dinner, how can he pay for a child one day and a wife and a family? He can't. He won't be willing to. So he's clearly not going to make a good husband. So men, if you want to make a good husband,
if that level of financial expectation is essential for you, it's better to be upfront about it before the date, so both people are clear on where they stand. Otherwise, it's more productive to move on than to stay in situations where expectations around money and effort don't align, since mismatched intentions usually lead to frustration on both sides.
Today, I linked with this man a few weeks ago out with my friends. There's been texting me for weeks talking to himself. Why I didn't block him, I don't know. But today I was bored and I had time, so he texted me like, can we meet for drinks? And I'm like, yeah, meet me here. They got the best oysters in Atlanta, like hands down. So I'm like, yes, I can get some content. Come on. It's so good. Y'all, when the fourth one came out, he was looking at me crazy. I didn't give a f. I'm like, baby, you invited me out. I'm gonna eat, and I was coming anyway. But I ain't gonna lie, no, I wouldn't have did all that, but I did do all that. It was so good. I was not expecting it to be that good. Oh my God. It was just so good. Like I had to. It was so good. So after that, I'm like, baby, what's next? What I'm about to eat? These potatoes, they were so good, and the crab cakes, everything was so good. 10, baby. Why the f*** is he going to the bathroom and never come back? I'm like, hold the phone. It's been like 10, 20, 30 minutes. Isn't that the end of
at the oyster bar, and she said this: running out on the tab is crazy. And he replied back and says, I offered to take you out for drinks and you ordered all that food. I can cash app you the total for the drinks. And of course, you know, we got to get to the comments. So the first person commented said this: left my butt off. If it was her moaning over the if it wasn't her moaning, because she was, y'all, hold on, let me get the clip. Girl, moaning over the freaking oysters. But the person continues and says, if it wasn't for her the moaning over the oysters and recording with her camera flash on, or her ordering an additional 5th plate of food, that he officially decided that he was going to dip out on her, right? Because we don't know what made him leave on that date. Another person tweeted this and said, between slurping down 48 oysters, 3 lemon drops, 2 crab cakes, and ordering potatoes, laughing my butt off, did she even have time to talk and vibe with her actual date? Which is a great question, because I was curious too. Like, did she have time to even talk to him? Somebody else said, this just greedy. Girl, it was greedy. Another person said this, and I had to go back and watch the video. They said $11 tip is crazy because that bill basically was at least $150. Y'all, she left $11. I know that bill was high. I know it was high.
A woman complained online about a date in which a man snuck out of the restaurant and stuck her with the bill after watching her eat 48 oysters. And like you, I was completely on her side until the words
The behavior shown in the original clip comes across as unusual and attention-focused, especially given that recording oneself in a public dining setting can shift the atmosphere of a date and make the interaction feel less natural. From the perspective of the person across the table, that kind of conduct could reasonably be perceived as a mismatch in expectations or simply a lack of shared social awareness, which often becomes a deciding factor in whether the date feels compatible or not.
How much do you think a man should spend on a first date on you?
Not that much. I don't think not that much. Honestly, I feel like, I know there's some girls that think that they should spend like $100, this and that, whatever. No. Honestly, I think, a guy should spend, a coffee date is more than enough. Because honestly, you don't want to spend that much money on someone that is just like, it's gonna be a waste of time. It's like, no, spend like $20 on a coffee date, matcha, whatever. It's just like, there's going to be some girls that disagree with me. Sorry, girlies, I'm sorry. But it's just like, the ones that are trying to look for a guy a man that wants to provide and everything, it's just like, I think that it's just like, a coffee date is more than enough, honestly.
Just to feel the vibes, right?
Yeah, just to feel the vibe, see how he is as in like what he does for a living, see if he's family oriented, all that stuff. Like, see how he is and everything. That's more than enough to see which one look for a man. Honestly, you don't need $100 for a date. Why? For what? You don't need that. I think you don't need that.
If someone's expectations around dating are primarily centered on high spending or material value early on, that can signal a broader mismatch in priorities when it comes to building a long-term relationship. Over time, relationships tend to expose whether both people are aligned on values like effort, communication, and financial expectations. And if those foundations aren't compatible, it often leads to friction rather than stability.
So, niggas will flirt with you at the grocery store, but not offer to pay for your groceries? Get the fuck out of my face! I beg your fucking pardon? What the fuck do you think this is? I'm over here shopping for things, and you're flirting with me while I'm shopping for things, but not offering to pay for the things that I'm shopping for while you're trying to flirt with me. Are you stupid? Like, the only way to win right now is to pay for the groceries. If not, move the
It's uncommon for someone to fully cover routine grocery expenses in casual interactions, especially outside of an established relationship, where expectations are typically clearer and more reciprocal. In most everyday situations, interactions like small talk or light flirting don't automatically carry financial obligations, and assumptions on either side can easily lead to misunderstandings. In the end, keeping expectations realistic and aligned with the actual stage of the relationship helps avoid unnecessary tension and confusion.